Yo, this is WSOL 13. Raid Raid Shadow Legends on the treadmill. So, top of light, right? Nice little break from the normal things you do in Raid. So, what do I think about it? To me, Path of Light is basically like Dungeon Divers and Artifact event mashed into one, and you get to pick the rewards. So if you're an F2P low spender, how should you play this? You should play it like the event isn't even on. Also, you should treat it as a time to optimize your gear and maybe cash in on some of your stored up forge materials. That's how I would treat this, and you play it like a regular Dungeon Diver / Artifact event. And I am a big fan of the middle tree, which leads to the Lego book, right? So I feel like the right tree is probably the easier one to get, and then you get shards, you get speed lift, you know. So if you want a free void shard, go ahead and pick that side of the tree. In my case, I would really like another Lego book, because that's kind of like where I'm behind right now. I've leveled up a bunch of guaranteed legendaries, and I really need more Lego books, basically. So I've booked out, I think, Riho and then Kyoku. So I need books for Helicat. I did get the Helicats unkillable, so it's the cooldowns to book down. The only thing is I haven't booked down the shield. So that is another project that I'm working on, is booking down that shield. But yeah, so how exactly should you play this event? Alright, so check it out. You get artifacts and accessories, upgrade artifacts and accessories. In my opinion, you can play it with the Ice Golem tournament if you're inclined. That way, if you do get to the epic book, you get an epic book on top of everything else. That's one way to do it, although you may end up spending some gems to do that, which is fine. Spending gems is fine for a Lego book. I think that's a very worthwhile trade. But if you want kind of like bang for your buck, champ training is actually pretty good. The only thing is it doesn't have much time left, I think. So champ training, when does this end? This ends in a couple of days. So champ training I really like here because it allows you to get another legendary book at 14,000, plus an ancient shard, epic book, and then a 6-star Chaosaur, which is not bad. Not great, but not bad. Big problem here, right? If you keep doing events like this outside of fusion events, you might run out of food for the actual fusion event. It's just something to keep an eye on if you are choosing to go that direction. I didn't go that direction. I didn't pick any of the events, actually. I stuck with just spiders. So there's a good case for spiders too. I want to show you right now. So right now there is an Ice Golem tournament. So I think Ice Golem has probably like the lowest yield of the 4 dungeons, right? So with dragons, even endgame players can get speed set still, and then toxic set is another kind of like endgame gear set that you want good pieces of. Fire Knight, everybody knows how amazing gear in Fire Knight is, right? So we got regen set there, we got savage, crit damage. Ice Golem maybe has a crit rate set, which is really good. I think Ice Golem also has a reflex set, if I'm not mistaken. Does it? Something like that. Let's let's take a quick look. I forgot what's in Ice Golem. I don't really. Truth be told, once you hit a certain part of the game, farming is not going to be a thing anymore. I know people be like, oh, all you do is farm. Well, yeah, you can, if that's what you want to do. Yeah, reflex set is here. So that'll be another good one to get. Resistance set, you know, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not great, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, so what did I do exactly? So what I did was, I did my forge. So let's take a look at my forge real quick, and then the excess energy, I've been doing spiders. So forge, I spent maybe like 2,000, what is this called? Magisteel, right? So in forge, once you hit a certain level, the bottleneck is going to be Magisteel. So if you don't have enough Magisteel, well, it's not going to go well for you, right? But there's not a lot of incentive for me personally to make Swift parry gear or deflection set, right? So I'm not super keen on making those sets, even though they're considered to be like end game sets. I really like perception still. Perception is definitely something I'm kind of interested in, right? So even at end game, you still want good perception gear. And then for like the bosses, Guardian is really good. For a clan boss, Lethal is really good. Fortitude isn't bad for arena, and Hydra. You know. Bloodthirst actually isn't bad. So there are endgame clan boss builds that still utilize lifesteal set. So Bloodthirst actually is a pretty decent set to have. So focusing on forge spiders. So what do you do to get points, right? So the best way is obviously to level things up to 16. So once you level things up to 16, it's something like 700 something for 5-star gear, and it's like almost 1,000 points for 6-star gear, right? If you total everything out from 1 to 16, you know, so 16s is where the maximum impact is, right, for this kind of event, which means you're going to be a little bit starved with silver. So the main concern here is like, do you have the resources? In my opinion, I think yes. From the forge alone, you should be able to get enough silver from there. Couple that with your free refills and energy, just to do regular dungeon runs that you would do anyway, outside of fusion events. You know, it's like a neat little bonus to have, right? But I think one thing that needs to be said is managing your items, okay? So one good little management trick you can do while you're here is to try and use a filter, right? Let's say you're looking for a specific type of item. I'll give you a good example. I want crit damage gloves with, oopsie, with crit rate subset, right? This would be a good time to kind of like clear out your inventory of things that didn't roll well. So you can do a quick search. Is there anything you haven't rolled up? No, nothing for me. So let's say I want to narrow something down. So let's say I want to look at this lethal set right here. Right? What did I get? So I got double crit rate there. This would be a good time to go for the 12 to see if I get the triple crit rate roll. I know it's a 4-star piece of gear, but if I get the triple crit rate there, you know, it's actually not bad. Right? I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad because you get an extra 10% crit rate if you complete the set. So it's like an extra 2.5% crit rate on top of it. You know, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's good for like little budget builds I like to do for this content I do anyway. So this actually, I would probably roll that up to 12. So you could do a quick sweep of your inventory. Just sit down, sweep through your inventory, see what you want to roll up, and see if you get multiples of a roll that you want. Speed, usually crit rate, Accuracy sometimes, but usually speed and crit rate are the ones you want multiple rolls of on the same piece. So, other than that, I feel like this is a nice little break from the grind, and a nice time for you to kind of like sit back, reassess your situation with your gear, you know, and then deck out some guys, because most of you got helicap, and you're probably gonna have to build your new guys that you got helicap with, you know. So I think overall it's a nice little event they gave us that allows us the chance to give our account a look over and see what would be a good thing to do. Well, this is my Spiders 20 farming team. So as you can see, you'll get something like roughly double to triple, I think. Double to triple the energy you spent. Something like that. Or I think double. The average would probably be double if you get 5-star rare gear, which is what usually happens. So this is another good way to like just zero out your energy real quick. So for this particular event, 16 is actually a really good breakpoint. So compared to actual dungeon divers where it's 20 is the breakpoint, for this particular event, 16 is a pretty natural breakpoint, right? So if you're at 16 in a certain dungeon and that's the dungeon you want to farm, perfectly decent to do that with this event. Right, so you can do Fire Knight 16, Spider 16, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm working on getting the masteries done for Hellcat, make a Helicap comp, see where we go from there. It shouldn't be that hard, to be honest, because it's so easy to build the Helicap comps. Yeah. So, you know, as far as this comp goes, I know farming stage 20 speeds is kind of like passe at this point. I still do it because it's the fastest dungeon team I have available right now. And it's actually pretty fun to play because it like drains my energy really fast. If I need my energy drained, it's like 13 to 14 seconds, depending how fast my phone is going. Obviously, I've gotten it to go in 12 seconds. You know, I think that's probably when I played on my laptop a few times. So I do play Raid on the PC every now and then, but you know, I'm on the go. I'm a dad of 4. I gotta find my game time when I can, right? That's why I sneak it here when I do the treadmill. And you know, I think overall, I know people like to bash, like, oh, that light. It's like, oh, once again, you know, once again, I am asking you all to boycott Path of Light. I mean, yeah, sure. There's nothing wrong with that per se. So the good thing about spiders is you do get a lot of silver for energy here, you know. The bad thing is if you're going to be upgrading those loot that you get to level 8, you're going to be wasting a lot of the silver gains because on average it does take a little bit more silver to upgrade accessories over regular pieces of gear. Just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I use this to top off some of my champs, rebuild some of my comps, you know. That's it. That's a good time for you. Just treat it like a extravagant artifact event. And then from there you should be able to get to your Lego book. I mean, you know, it took a little bit of farming as well. I spent probably like 2,000 energy, maybe. It might be close to 2,000. Yeah, like 1,000 something energy. Because I know I spent my weekly energy costs on this. So yeah, it shouldn't be that bad if you're just picking one tree. So I suggest you pick one tree. You be happy with your choice. You get your shards or your Lego book. That's it. You're good to go. So hopefully that informs you on what to do for this event. See you all.